In 2001, LEGO hit it big with the overwhelming success of Bionicle, a line of buildable action figure heroes to face down a line of elaborately constructed Technic beasts. It was a brilliant toy line with perfect marketing and a fantastic and mysterious storyline told across commercials, games, and comics. How could LEGO follow up such a perfect launch? How could they possibly improve on what they'd already done? There's one simple answer. Hi, I'm Jett Kuso. I like to nostalgically analyze toy lines, both new and old, and today we are returning to the world of Mata Nui to look back at the second year of Bionicle. We got Bohrok, we got Bahrag, and perhaps some new heroes to fight this new evil. Something I very intentionally left out of my first Bionicle video was the Mata Nui online game. It's a browser-based flash game created by Templar Studios, a point-and-click adventure game heavily inspired by Myst. You wander around as a Matoran, meet characters, and mostly, you marvel at the stunningly directed animated cutscenes. It was released in chapters month by month throughout 2001, and as you play, you just sorta tumble around and solve puzzles and bump into the TOA heroes as they're trying to defeat the Makuta. You never get to see the full picture of what's going on because you're just a little guy, which was incredibly cool. It was a huge source of that early Bionicle mystery, and the game became the flagship story project for Bionicle basically by accident. A console game starring the TOA had been planned, but it got canceled because it was bad, I hear. It looks kinda bad. I don't know. But because of that little bit of a misstep, TOA the Chronicler, the little protagonist of the online game, basically became the main character of Bionicle. And that's why they call him Chronicler.
That's why they call me the Chronicler. Haha! Very impressive.
Now let's go! And this is where we get to the actual point of the video. By the time the final chapter of the game released, it was December of 2001, and so they seized the opportunity to do a little bit of foreshadowing. Did I say foreshadowing? I meant advertising. After the final battle, the evil Makuta had been defeated, and TOA is left alone in the dark. A door opens, and being a point-and-click adventure game protagonist, he wanders into it to find this stuff. Oh dear. Oh buddy, that's really weird. Whoa! What is that? What's that? I don't have that toy. What toy is that? Oh wait, no, go back. I want to see that spooky ball toy. Ah, dang it. Well, I guess we'll never know who those scary bad guys were.
Under the surface of Mata Nui, an ominous awakening. A new threat to the entire island. Controlled by a leech-like Krana, it is the Bohrok. Its Krana alone is a great danger to the TOA. The Bohrok come in swarms, they strike fast. Beware, if you wake one, you wake them all. Bionicle. 6 Bohrok breeds, each set sold separately.
God dang it. Be back in a second.
They are powerful, fearless, and mysterious. They are the Bohrok. Their time has come! Legoland, get ready for the Bohrok!
Dump out the canister. Start building. Pretend you don't need the instructions because you are 4. Then give up and use the instructions anyway because you are 4. Once built, you got yourself a Bohrok, a bug-like foot soldier designed to awaken and destroy the island of Mata Nui. Pressing this lever causes the Bohrok's head to lunge forward with shocking force, capable of detaching the mask of a TOA more effectively than any prior product. Rubber bands then snap the head back into place where you can manually unclick the bug's face shield. Another press of the lever sends the robot's brain-like Krana flying out to take over the body of any unmasked creature. But that's not a risk. What TOA would be careless enough to get themselves unmasked and infected by a stupid little squishy Liwa, I swear to God! The body of a Bohrok and most of its extremities are made of new, unique Lego pieces, all finely tuned to make this dual action feature function really well. They can knock off masks reliably, and even a normal impact is still really— Ow! Dude, that frickin' hurt! The only thing the Bohrok can't do is actually get a Krana to attach to the face of a TOA when it's flung. It takes a bit of kid brain imagination play to make that work, which is perfectly fine. I'm still a little guy, I know how to have fun. And not only do a Bohrok's action features work great, the shape of them easily folds into a ball. As a kid who thought the destroyer droids from The Phantom Menace were the coolest things I'd ever frickin' seen, it was cool to roll out a ball guy into battle and have him transform.
This is the final stand. Only one player will rank number 1. Bakugan. The time for battle is now. Bakugan battle.
This was a formative experience for me. Yeah, the Bohrok are truly the proto-Bakugan, but they're also inspired by the xenomorphs from Aliens. They're a big swarm of little bug-like freaks, they're controlled by queens, which we'll talk about later, and they basically launch face-huggers at their enemies. The Krana are cool on their own because even though they're brains, they kind of look like little faces, rubberized in a way that makes a TOA look really creepy. And of course, the Krana came in a variety of different shapes and collectible colors, included with the Bohrok and available inside little separate packages, just like the mask boxlets. What are the Krana types called? I'm glad you asked. All you have to remember is Za, Za, Vu, Ka, Yo, Ja, Su, and Bo. Easy! Meanwhile, if you thought the TOA canisters were cool, the Bohrok canisters are a next level synthesis of form and function. After you've folded up the Bohrok, you can attach this clip thingy, which attaches to the lid of the canister. And then you remove the back label, which is made to come off clean, and the Bohrok is held upside down in a deep slumber. The front label even has double-sided printing so that the bug's elemental color is shown from inside the canister, which makes this display look really, really cool. I don't know that I've ever seen a better example of intentional, creative package design. Maybe wow, you're giving me... Alright. Limited edition barbecue Pringles. While I was writing the script for this video, I'd spend paragraphs raving about one specific feature, then I'd remember, oh, holy cow, that's right, that's another thing the Bohrok did. Even if the Bohrok were a standalone toy line, not Lego and not buildable, they'd still be really good action figures with an incredible set of interacting gimmicks.
You're totally right though. There could just be a product called Ball Bugs and it would still sell.
Absolutely! But of course, it takes more than one bug to make a swarm, and there were other products in this first wave. In my last Bionicle video, I was a little bit too mean to the Turaga toys, because I don't care for them and they deserve it.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
I feel much more positively about the Bohrok Va, which were basically the 2002 version of the same product here. It's such a weird little character design, with Matoran feet and Bohrok shields for faces. Look it, this one's got little swords. Ninjago. And if you flick their arms down, they can launch a Krana like a Bohrok.
Boink! Bonk!
In the lore, since a Bohrok goes dead after launching its Krana, Bohrok Va are little scouts that can bring a fresh Krana to an empty bug. Like if bees had little, smaller necromancer bees that could give them a new stinger after they do their one sting. Aww. The Bohrok Va came out a bit before the Bohrok, but together they create a wave that intentionally mirrored the Toa Mata and the Turaga. a sort of dark reflection. For example, their elemental powers mirror one another. Where the TOA were noble, the Bahrag were cruel. Where the TOA were alphas, the Bahrag were misunderstood Sigma males on their grind set. Since there weren't any villains in the 2001 line that fit the same price point as the TOA, it was very cool to go canister collecting for these new foes, just as we had before with the TOA. But the difference between the Bahrag and the TOA was clear. The Bahrag came in swarms. So when your parents tell other parents that you like the green Bionicles before your 5th birthday party, it is not a problem when you end up with 3 Levox.
Layvac, the swamp Bohrok. Watch out, they secrete a powerful acid.
But also, it created a huge power imbalance between the TOA and the Bahrag. And for about half a year of story, it looked like the Bahrag were winning. 2002's story was told in 2 primary places: comic books that followed the TOA, and a series of online animations created by Templar Studios in the same style as the Matanui online game. Time and time again throughout this media, the Bahrag are said to be truly unstoppable. Even when a Tanakh swarm is submerged underwater by Gali and Pohatu, the water merely boils as they climb the walls of the trap. And when the Matoran destroy the bridge to Gakoro, the Bahrag get a new Krana that let them fly! Liwa is brain dead, the Matoran are forced out of their villages, and being unable to fight the swarms, the TOA are forced into a scavenger hunt to collect each type of Krana to unlock a secret power deep inside the Bahrag hives. The Bahrag seemed overwhelming and unbeatable until the next wave of toys gave a bit of hope. New fighters join the fray! The Boxor, a mech suit designed by the Matoran made out of Bahrag corpses, cardboard boxes, and chewed gum. I rebuilt this Boxor model years ago, so it doesn't have all the right parts, but it's close enough. When you press the model down left or right, it presses the feet, which activate its boxing claws in rock'em sock'em fashion. I presume you're supposed to defeat the Bahrag by hooking the claws on a face shield and grabbing the Krana, I guess, but I always just did big punches. It's mechanically impressive and aesthetically delightful. It even comes with a McDonald's-style Matoran, altogether quite orange, which is an underused color for Bionicle. It's not, like, posable at all, but the action features make up for it. In the story, the creation of the Boxor turns the war into a bit more of an even fight, and gives our little villagers a chance to become heroes themselves. A theme which will become more and more prominent as Bionicle continues. Oh, and then the TOA found some giant mech suits underground. I couldn't afford to buy an Exo TOA set for this video, which is funny because my parents couldn't afford it when I was a kid either. It's a lot like the Boxor, but built for the TOA. Any TOA fits inside, and I don't have any opinions, cause I never had one! All I know is that in the comics, the TOA used them to beat up 2 nice moms, and that's no good at all. The aforementioned moms are Cahdok and Gahdok, the Bahrag. Not that one. That's slightly different. Cahdok and Gahdok are the Bahrag queens. They're like the alien queen in Aliens, but there's 2 of them, and they love each other very much. This comic book insert says they're twins, but I'm pretty sure that's not how royalty works.
Would 2 twin sisters be called queens?
No! They have all the powers of the Bahrag, and they get more powerful the closer they are to each other, just like lesbians. When I was 4, I thought they were dinosaurs, and I wanted the big Lego dinosaurs more than life itself. And now I'm an adult, and I can expense the purchase, so I spent my Exo TOA money on the dinosaur bug moms. Bam! Here they are! Easily the most chill and pleasant Lego build I have ever done. Incredibly technical, but holy cow, the mechanism on these is insane. When you squeeze the handle, their necks extend, sending head lunging forward and jaw gearing open. But if it extends too far, the jaw gear disconnects and the jaw snaps shut. This can be used to attack a TOA, or to play the same sort of rock'em sock'em robots game as the Rahi. When this pin is pulled out by the jaws of the other queen, a piece slides up to lock the mechanism in place. Just like lesbians. Back in the story, the very moment the TOA hop into their new exosuits and start fighting, they immediately get their butts handed to them by these sapphic icons. Their elemental powers are weakened inside the Exo-TOA for some reason, which makes the Exo-TOA basically useless because mostly all our heroes do is use their elemental powers.
Haha, makes glass!
And then they never use the Exo-TOA suits again, so... Okay, so all the new gear isn't enough to defeat the swarms or the queens. Maybe the TOA can have some more character growth or something and combine their elemental powers to defeat the queens, but gosh darn it, character growth doesn't sell toys! We're 8 months into the new year and there aren't any new good guy TOA toys yet. Unacceptable! Everyone knows that only new plastic can defeat the bad guys. 4-year-old me demands new plastic!
As the story continues, the 6 mighty TOA combine their powers to defeat all the Bohrok swarms. This combination creates Protodermis, a powerful energy fluid, which transforms the TOA into the TOA NUVA. The Bionicle story continues.
After vaguely trapping the Bohrok queens with their vague combined powers, there's a sudden rumble and all the TOA sink into freaky tubes in the ground filled with Protodermis. Remember Protodermis? The thing I didn't explain in the first video? Well, you're in luck because I'm still not explaining it. The Protodermis painfully, I assume, mutate the TOA Mata into the TOA NUVA! Yes! Yes! You know what that means, right? That's right! The Bionicle Nike sneakers! I wanted them. I wanted the Nike sneakers. But nah, actually it's new toys. Look at these guys and their sick gains. New versions of their Kanohi masks, silver armor slapped onto their old torsos, thick legs, and bilateral symmetry. And of course, they have brand new TOA TOA tools! Sorry, they're tools. The TOA NUVA have all of your favorite tools, like swords, and of course, swords! And then Pohatu's got little claws, little grabbers. Unlike the almost entirely new builds of the Bohrok, the TOA NUVA are basically the same as the TOA Mata, except in a lot of ways they are more generic than the previous TOA were. The builds are a bit more homogeneous. Gone are the weird hands and freaky arms. There's a little variety with Kopaka having a shield arm and Pohatu looking frickin' dumb, but including masks, it only took 15 new pieces to create the TOA NUVA lineup. Is that kind of lazy? A little? Did I care at all as a kid? Not at all. I immediately didn't care about the TOA Mata anymore. The TOA NUVA was where it was at. They just looked so much more manly and cool, and little boys noticed that stuff. The NUVA gearboxes were exactly the same, so they had these same arm-swinging features, but they still managed to create a cool new gimmick with the new tools. The gimmick is extreme sports. Skiing, lava boarding, paragliding, chainsaw feet zooming, good swimming.
I love that line.
Chainsaw feet zooming. The tools attached to their feet using a few extra axles, and in my memory, it was actually pretty effective as an element of play. And although there are a lot of reused pieces, it allowed LEGO to put out double the amount of canister sets as the previous year while staying within budget. And from a roleplay perspective, it made sense that the NUVA figures were a lot like the Mata figures since they were just upgraded versions of the same characters. Makes a lot more sense than the Mystica. Don't know what's going on there. We do a little bit of ignition arcing. Now, in my opinion, the TOA NUVA designs haven't aged quite as well as the TOA Mata, cause the mask designs are kinda messy, and the masculine features make them look a lot more like typical action figures. The TOA model look like absolute freaks, but there's a lasting appeal in that oddity. It almost makes you forget that they don't have knees. This opinion is probably mostly nostalgia goggles, but also, screw you, I'm right. Just wait until I talk about the Ignition arc. I'm so ready to make people mad at me. People already hate me enough for calling Pohatu the dirt one. Like, I know all of this about Bionicle and I've done all of this research, but I just forgot Pohatu's name and didn't look it up. Yeah, that's a likely story.
So be it. We should keep moving. But I tire of being treated like I'm just the dirt one. None of us have ever called you that out loud. Out loud? At least I have not.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Do you ever grow weary of pissing me off?
No.
I don't have time for this. I'm already at my limit thanks to Lewa's twice melted mind. It's not my fault the Mudorian are after me, Lucky Charms.
The sales tactic of the Bahrag invasion is obvious. LEGO was obviously leveraging the threat of evil domination to motivate sales, which sounds stupid when you say it, but to a kid, that's true. I wanted to buy the Bahrag toys so they could fight my TOA toys, but I didn't want the bad guys to win. But that was the narrative, and I was immersed in it, especially because the toys themselves sold the effect they were going for in the story. The Bahrag are so well designed that they feel powerful. Look, check this out. The play feel supports the storytelling even down to storage, and the storytelling in turn informs the play. And because I was immersed, I wanted more than one of each Bahrag so that I could have a Bahrag swarm, just like the story. But ultimately, even kids have an innate sense of justice. We like the TOA, we like the Matoran, and we don't want to see their stuff get destroyed even if the bad guys are cool. And we were kept in that place of vague kids' story fear until September when the TOA NUVA came out and we could finally beat the bad guys. Like, look at that. Bahrag can't do nothing to TOA NUVA. Nah, they're too good. Is it a little bit cruel to leverage the innate human aversion towards injustice to sell toys to impressionable, manipulatable kids? Maybe. When it comes to marketing to kids, it's hard to tell where the line is between good branding and immersive storytelling and basically trying to brainwash them into giving their souls and lives to insert company name here or insert terrible influencer name here. Sure, in this context, buying the new toys is the only way to make sure the good guys win. And it's very materialistic and consumeristic if you think of it that way. But it would be a compelling story even if there wasn't a product to sell. It's the Tinkerbell effect, where the good guys only win if you cheer hard enough.
Do you believe in fairies? Do you believe in fairies? Clap your hands if you believe in fairies.
And ultimately, the Tinkerbell effect only works because kids want to see the good guys win. And I think that's pretty cool, actually. I like the round bonkles. I give the round bonkles a thumbs up. I'd like to hear if your experience with the Bahrag here was anything similar to the story I presented here, or if you were just like, heck yeah, Bahrag win, heck yeah, clean it all, huh. Or if you just think I should be nicer to the Dirt Toa, post a comment saying, his name is Pohatu. I also have an exclusive video on Patreon of me building the Gahdok figure for the first time from a previously unopened set from 2002, as well as a whole bunch of other really cool exclusive video content. Thanks for watching, this is Jett Kuso, and I'll see you next time. Special thanks to my Diamond patrons Immortal Blank and new Diamond patron Chooka Bear, my Titan patrons SheVitus, Sierra 107, Gusano, Logan Hill, Big Chungus 69, Rāzu, Rion, plecopleco, Roman Lewandowski, and Ice Feather, and my Hyper patrons Gavin Greenlee, David, Trouble, DuskAnthro, Mudorios, Lucidlana, and Zephyr, who just upgraded from a base patron to a Hyper patron. Thank you, Zephyr. Hope you guys enjoy the content. I don't have that Cahdok and Gahdok video up right now, but I should have it up within the week. So look forward to that. Thank you.
Talk about the TOA more.
Talk about the TOA and Ica. You didn't even mention the TOA Metru. I'm not gonna leave that in, that's probably a bit mean. Ah! Oh god! He's using a TOA tool.